So I passed the BCS Foundation and 3 other certificates from BCS first time. And here are the things I wish someone told me, or the things I wish I knew before I sat the exam. The first thing is it's a terminology test, not a memory test. This is important because obviously you need to know what a lot of these terms mean: stakeholder, requirements. You need to understand what they mean. You need to be able to define them. But I will go as far as to say an individual who knows how to apply these, even 50%, is probably better off than someone that's just spent their time memorizing all these definitions. What the BCS Foundation exam is really testing at its core is, can you absorb this information and apply it to a given scenario? That's what the exam is testing: application. How well can you apply the things you've learned under exam conditions in a right and correct manner? So if you spend all your time just focusing on actually memorizing all these various definitions, but when it comes to the exam and they're giving you an actual real life scenario and asking you to apply what you've learned to the specific situation, you're going to freeze up. I've heard it from a lot of people before. I've just spoke to someone now who's done the exam twice. They're about to do their third exam, and because the first 2 times that they failed. But the kicker is with them, they've only failed by 1 mark both times. So obviously their understanding of the textbook, of the syllabus, they've got a good understanding of it. Obviously, if they can almost pass twice, if they're off by 1 mark twice, they already understand the syllabus. Where they're slipping up is they can't apply what they've learned to real life situations. And the only way you can really get that experience is by testing yourself, making up scenarios and thinking about different terms like racy matrix, for example. Let's just use that as an example. It's one thing to know what it is. It's another thing to be able to say, this is what it means in the wild. This is what it means in real application. The key thing is, don't stop at just the definitions. Think of ways you can apply this to real life scenarios. The second thing is the specimen paper that's on the BCS website should be your best friend. If the first time you've looked at the specimen paper is a week before you've done the exam, wrap it up. You've already failed. The key here is, with the specimen paper, what you've got are 20 or so questions that are phrased in the same way that the exam questions are. Now, disclaimer, they are not the exact same questions. However, they're going to put you in a better position to understand the questions and how to answer them in a timely manner when it's actually time for the exam. That's the most accurate representation of what the real exam questions are going to look like, because they've come from BCS directly. The other thing is, there are a number of exam dumps and mock exam this and mock exam that, Foundation Pro, my product included. But the difference with my product is I'm someone who's passed all of these exams first time. And the other difference is I spent a lot of money to learn how to pass these exams. I didn't do it until I felt completely ready. So the questions that I have in Foundation Pro, link is in the description, I've ensured that these questions align with the syllabus. The key here is BCS are giving you mock exam, specimen paper, example questions that are based on what the exam is like in real life. You could go to any website, bastat.com, examdumps.com, or wherever you get your exam questions from. But you're getting it from BCS, direct from the horse's mouth. So, and it's free. So take the opportunity to grab it as soon as possible. I always suggest people, before they even start revising, just do a mock. You're likely going to fail. I always say this, you're likely going to fail that first mock. But you get a few questions right, it's going to make you feel like, yeah, I'm actually, maybe I can do this. Even if you get 2 questions right, no big deal. You're not supposed to know it. So it's really no big deal. But what you have to do is get your mind in a position where you are ready to answer these questions, 90 seconds apiece, and answer them correctly. Just to go back to the first point, the exam's not going to be like, what is a functional requirement? That's not the question that they're going to ask you. They're going to give you a scenario and ask you to say, is this a functional or non-functional requirement? But if you don't sort of know what these are, you're not going to be able to answer the question. So yes, you need to understand the definitions. However, if you haven't practiced answering these questions under time conditions and applying your knowledge, you're not going to get it right anyway, despite the fact that you know the difference between a functional and non-functional requirement. Next is just a breakdown of the actual exam. The exam is 40 questions, 60 minutes, 90 seconds per question. You don't have time to really think like that. What I would advise people to do, and this is what I did when I was taking these exams, if you see a question and you're spending more than 60 seconds on it and you still haven't figured it out, flag it, move on to the next one. You're better off getting the marks that you can get. And wait, let me just stop and say, you flag it, come back to it later. Yeah, don't just leave it. Or give it your best answer then when you get to like the 60, 70 second mark. And I know it's hard to be able to sort of estimate in your head, but you know when you've answered a question quickly and when you haven't. Do you know what I mean? So the main thing is, if you find yourself on a question and it's taking you longer than you know you should be spending, pick your best answer, flag it, move on. And then when you've answered all the questions you know, towards the end, if you've still got some time left, then you go back and look at these ones that you flagged. If the best answer is what you already put, perfect, move on to the next flag question. But you've only got 90 seconds to answer these questions. So ultimately, you want to be so switched on, you want to be so on it that the questions you know you can answer pretty quickly. You read the question and answer it. So that gives you more time for the questions that you don't know. That's why the prep work beforehand is so important. A lot of people are going into this exam without any preparation. They haven't done any mock exams. They haven't revised. They haven't used spaced repetition. They've opened the book, flipped through it a few times and think, yeah, I'm gonna be fine when it comes down to it. And I'm just keeping it real. That's not enough. You have to do more. The key thing here is you don't have time to think. Focus on the questions. It's one question at a time. Questions you know, answer. Questions you don't know, give your best guess, flag, move on to the next question. The next thing I wish I knew is not all the syllabus areas are equal. I've made a previous video on this before and I'll link it, so I'm not going to spend too long on it. But what a lot of people do is they study everything like it's equal. But there are two areas of the syllabus that make up 25% of the exam. So if you're studying everything like it's equal, that's not a winning strategy. You want to focus on those areas that have the most weight. And those are that's where you're going to get your easy marks. That's where you're going to get most of your quick wins when you're actually taking the exam. The next thing I wish I knew is the answers. I wouldn't say they're trick questions, but they are designed to catch you. Every wrong answer is targeting a specific misconception. And again, I've given examples like this before. The reason why you're doing these drills in terms of spaced repetition, the reason why you're focusing on these specific areas is so when you're faced with a question that seems a bit tricky, you have the knowledge already to be able to distinguish between the right and the wrong answer. All of these are kind of linked because, again, it all goes back to seeing the questions, having an idea of how the questions are phrased. If you don't know how the questions are phrased, how the exam is going to put forward these questions, if you haven't seen any before the exam, how in the world do you expect to pass? It's not going to happen because at that point, everything is completely new to you. So it's that cognitive dissonance. You kind of have to get climatized. But if you've been smashing out mock questions for the last month before your exam, so this is on top of like the 2, 3, 4 weeks you've spent just revising, and now for the last 2-3 weeks you've just been smashing mock questions. When these questions come up that are designed to, I won't say trick, I'll just say catch you out, when you come against these questions, you're going to fly through them. These are all linked, man. And this is the stuff I didn't know, so I'm just sharing it with you. Okay, this is really important. The textbook is the textbook is the textbook is the textbook. Deborah Poole, James Cadle, Business Analysis, 4th edition. You can get the newest one secondhand for £25. So just buy the new edition. What you don't do is use any other book that's not recommended source material. Don't use AI. I've said it before, you can go on Reddit, you can search online. People are using AI to try and study and revise for this. Go into ChatGPT or whichever LLM you use and saying, generate me revision questions for the BCS Foundation syllabus, but make sure they're all right. Double check and triple check. That's not enough. The issue is you don't know the syllabus yet. So how are you going to know if it's giving you the right thing or the wrong thing? All right. So you've asked AI to make you all these questions now. Fantastic. It's giving you 100, 200, 300 questions. As you're revising and going through your actual revision, your actual notes, you realize some of the questions are wrong. But you've already sort of committed these questions to memory. So now you're like, okay, I know this is wrong because I just read in the textbook source material that it's wrong. So you go back to ChatGPT or whatever model you're using and say, hey, this question is wrong. What's it going to say to you at that point? What it's going to say is, oh, yes, you're correct. This is wrong. Oh, sorry. But what good is that to you a day, a week, a month before the actual exam? It's not going to be very helpful. And again, the problem here is you've already committed this stuff to memory. So even if you do figure out that it's wrong, it could be too late. The questions that the AI generate that are wrong may be the difference, maybe that 1 mark difference between passing and failing. Don't use AI to study for this. I made a video before talking about how I would use ChatGPT to study. If I'm honest, I'm probably going to take it down. The reason, because I didn't use ChatGPT to study. What I used was initially was paper flashcards. That's it. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. I used those first, and then I moved to Anki, which is a spaced repetition app. So I just sort of migrated all my written cards onto Anki, which is like an app. You can go through your flashcards, and it gives you sort of a report on the questions you got right. You've got your data. You've got sort of analytics with respect to the questions you got right, questions you got wrong. And it was Anki ultimately that led me to creating my own platform, app.bastack.com, with my own set of flashcards based on the syllabus. No AI, no jiggery pokery, all questions that I used from my original paper flashcard deck to pass first time. I feel like I've gone on a crazy tangent. Can't remember what I was talking about. Don't use other books to study except recommended source material. Don't use AI to study. Don't use any of these random exam dump websites. And I would even go as far as to say, look at anyone who's talking about the BCS Foundation certificate or offering you training materials with a bit of scrutiny. Ultimately, you need to know that they know what they're talking about, because any Tom, Dick, and Harry can just be out here offering you, for whatever cost, training materials, how to pass, how to this, myself included. But what I'm going to do, just to prove to you, is put all of the links for all my BCS certificates in the description, so you can check and see that I actually know what I'm talking about. I never did no retakes for any of these exams, any of these 4. I passed them all first time. Not because I'm super smart or whatever, because I just super double, triple locked in. And like I said before, me and the textbook were like this. That's all. And ultimately, that's all I needed. All I needed was the textbook. All of my notes came from the textbook. And if you go on the BCS website, they also suggest some other books. I didn't use any of them. I didn't have the money. I'd spent all of it on wazoos and woozies and crazy courses, so I didn't have the money to pay for it. The main point is the foundation certificate is based on one book, the textbook I mentioned, Business Analysis by Deborah Paul and James Cadle. If you have that alone, you can pass the exam. So just use that. If you don't want to pay, if you don't want to take the risk, I'm going to keep it real. If you don't want to take the risk or with any other products or AI, which is completely understandable, just use the textbook. Don't pay for anything else. If you need a little bit of help, go to bastat.com. Small plug, that's it. I'm done. All right. I think I've covered most of the main points here. Just to go over them very, 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 very quickly. Terminology test, not a memory test. You have to know how to be able to apply all of the things you're learning in a real life scenario. Specimen paper is your best friend. Go to the BCS website, download it, read it, go over it with a fine-tooth comb. It will really hold you in good stead when it comes to the actual exam. 40 questions, 60 minutes, 90 seconds a piece. You have to sort of be on it. You can't spend time dilly-dallying and thinking and spending over 2 minutes, 3 minutes on a single question. If you don't know the answer, pick your best guess, flag it, move on to the next question. When you're done, go back and keep it moving. Don't study everything equally. The exam is not an all areas equal thing. Go to the syllabus, look at which areas are weighted more heavily and focus on those first. Then you make up for that by coupling that with the areas that you're weakest in. The wrong answers are designed to catch you out. You need to know how the questions are phrased and what they're looking for, how they're looking to catch you out. That comes from revision, and that also comes from the specimen paper, which was number 2. Last but not least, the textbook, the textbook, the textbook. That's where all of the information comes from. They're not going to ask you anything that's not in that textbook. So if you don't use anything, just use the textbook. You're better off just using that and nothing else. If you need a little bit of help from someone who's passed multiple BCS exams first time, go to bastat.com. I've got some great resources. But just the book. Just use the book. If you would like to see how ready you are for the foundation certificate, I have a completely free readiness quiz. The link is in the description. It's 10 questions. It takes about 7-8 minutes, and it will let you know which areas you're strongest and where your gaps are, so you can prepare and pass first time. That's it for now. See ya. Would not want to be ya.